What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. I was just over here, looking at the former First Lady, Miss Michelle Obama, and we're gonna look at how beautiful she is. People was out here saying ugly things about Miss Michelle Obama, former First Lady, and the facts are the facts, and we see what we see. So, good morning, y'all. Welcome to the Coffee Talk. It's Thursday. We are almost to the end of the week. What y'all doing for Juneteenth tomorrow? Oh, El Cid was here. She said, good morning. She's not going to be able to be here today, but she would like for y'all to like, share, and subscribe. And so, can y'all do that? Can you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend so, we get into the things over here that, you know, are related to Black history, Black excellence, some current events, and a little bit of celebrity gossip. How is everybody today? I'm good. I'm good. It's, it's a beautiful day. We will probably have some sort of thunderstorm at some point this afternoon. I haven't checked to see what's going on, but that's probably what's going to happen over here. So, yeah, we made it almost to the end of the week. I'm actually just going to take the day off. I have nothing on my book except a consultation, and I'll be darned if I go out of the way to work just to do a consultation. So that's not going to happen. Got a little caffeinated here this morning, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Of course, I, got to pull up the situation on my phone. So I feel like I do better, and I'm not so much of a bumbling bumbler when I can see what it is the people are saying. So, yeah, let's get into the things this morning. Um, did you know Black girls weren't even allowed in Girl Scouts? Josephine Groves Holloway made history and forced change during segregation. Did she now? It's always some woman, Black woman, out here forcing changes, making things happen. Josephine Groves Holloway changed Girl Scouts forever. In the early 1900s, Black girls were excluded from Girl Scouts due to segregation. What weren't we excluded from that we had to like make our own lane for? Now y'all be over here trying to see what we doing, but anyway. Josephines organized unofficial troops, creating leadership and education when access was denied. In 1942, she helped establish the first officially recognized Black Girl Scouts troop in Middle Tennessee and became the first Black professional Girl Scout employee in the region. Her work expanded across the access. Her work expanded access for generations of Black girls. Black women pioneers deserve to be known and celebrated. Um, on one hand, you're like, why does she need to like fit in with the Girl Scouts? And I don't know that that's necessarily what happened. I think she definitely created a situation where they needed to be recognized. But you can see over here, we organized something that we have a challenge with, organized, and we did the work. When I say we, I mean they. This lady, Josephine, what a beautiful sight. Look at them. How many are in the troop? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, possibly 16. I don't know what that, person, I can't tell if they're part of the Girl Scouts, but I feel like this is something that's definitely should be celebrated because it reminds me, did y'all see the 668 with Kerry Washington? It was just, an example of how Black women can come together, organize, figure out what position, everybody is supposed to play because everybody's position is important. Acknowledging some of the issues that maybe people have because where we need the most organization is in the community. Good morning, high five. High five. I can't get it out today. Good morning, high five. Today is your Friday. The plantation acknowledges Juneteenth. Imagine that. I took mine, high five, because, I didn't have anything on my books and I could like wait, you know what I'm saying, and see if somebody is going to hit me up. But this is the thing. I'm only there in the salon 2 days a week. I'm semi-retired. So if you ain't hit me up by now, then, none of my people are looking and I'm not interested in really last minute situations. I'm at a position in my career where I would prefer, you let me know ahead of time. So normally on Friday, if I don't have nothing going on, I'll wait until the end of Thursday and I'll block it. But I woke up and blocked it this morning. Owner just texted me like, you have a consultation. Let me tell you something. I'm not driving all the way to work to do a consult. So yeah, somebody else can do that. So happy Juneteenth, High Vibe, and the rest of everybody who's over here checking in. Yes. So we were talking about the Girl Scouts and how important organization is within the community. And this is a small thing. It doesn't necessarily have to have the title of Girl Scouts. I mean, honestly, unless they're getting some type of financial benefit from it, I don't necessarily feel like you need to be a part of the organization, but the organization is a process that needs to take place with young people within the community. Everybody's talking about, all these kangs out here and strong men leadership and all of that. Why don't they lead the community somewhere and do something good for the kids and not be over here trying to touch the kids? Ridiculous. Girl Scouts was a great experience. I learned about things my family wouldn't have exposed me to. I agree. I never made it to Girl Scouts. I was a brownie. And then, I kind of got interested in other things. And that's why this is so important, because these girls organized and were able to gain. And like I said, I don't know if being a part of the Girl Scouts as an organization is as important as the organization itself. You know what I'm saying? We could take our knowledge and teach the youth something that they're not getting going to, PWIs or just the public school in general. It feels like public school right now, it's been different at different times, but public school is where our kids are being misinformed as far as I'm concerned. There's not an accident that the kids can't read and all of that. So, if all these state testing, if they were working, then we wouldn't have such a situation. And again, when the population is made up of mostly y'all, then don't look at us in terms of the numbers. The numbers is messed up and the kids can't read because of y'all. And that's on purpose. Good morning, T. We just over here discussing Girl Scouts. So honestly, like if I was going to contribute, in my time, and at some point I would like to be able to do that. You have to partner with the right people, but like home ec skills like sewing and that kind of thing is definitely something I would be willing to volunteer my time for. So if there was an organization in my neighborhood, I won't even say in my neighborhood necessarily, but I have the community of my area, of my neighborhood, my local community, the community page to let you know what's going on. And then I have the Black community page. I follow both. The regular community page is mostly Latinas. But one thing they will do is organize. They have a lot of organizations for their community. It's something that, is missing over here. So there's some events going on over here this weekend. I'll probably try to come through at least 2 of them to get to know some people like face to face in the community, have some conversations and see, what I learned about my surroundings as it relates to, Black community. But to organize, like it just takes little things, I feel like, to take to organizations. If the Girl Scouts is giving them something, like I said, benefits of some kind. I know there's access to travel and all kinds of things, but this is very important to get the community together and the young girls together and, do great things. I feel like being a part of groups in terms of positivity, even if it's sports, you learn different roles and how to, maneuver through life. So yeah, shout out to Miss Josephine. We want to see more of this. I feel like I have reached the age where I'm supposed to be part of it, and not being part of it is, hypocritical at this point. So yeah, Josephine Groves is out here organizing and making things, better in the community, because when you have minds that are focused on something besides just sitting around doing nothing, because there's some disasters out there too. We're going to talk about that too. So moving on. Three sisters opened the first Black woman-owned beauty supply store in Buffalo. Is it just me? I'm not gonna say I feel like, because I'm not having premonitions over here, but I would like to see more um more of this. And I feel like we're gonna see it. I feel like based on the things like the that happened over here with Mr. Chow, and his habit of pulling out firearms on people, it's made a change, I think, a movement, because I see in my community page all the time the girls are looking for somewhere to go get their nails done. So, they've like, I've been going over here to da 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 da, and so now I want to do something different. I saw a post the other day with a girl with a tape on her finger, like, oh my God, it's an emergency. I was going over there. And then she's finding out, I think a lot of young women are finding out the quality ain't even that great. So not only are you getting, and I'm talking about the nails, so not only are you getting treated bad, treated poorly, not all of them. And for those of you that are not being treated poorly, I mean, keep doing what you're doing, I guess. But I feel like there's going to be a surge of, Black beauty supplies and nail salons. And the challenge, I think, with the Black beauty supply stores is going to be the hair. But that's one fight. That's one thing. The hair, the Asian culture, the countries have, a lockdown on the hair, but we, figure out something else. We're good at that. But that's just one thing. I feel like there still needs to be a place where you can go and get products. And when I say products, I mean, I get it. Like there's a sector of people who, you make money how you make money, and you need to spend, how you need to spend. So we're not going to judge people necessarily by how much they're spending. But I think if you have a Black owned beauty supply store, it would be nice to have some of the higher end products as well. Like your pattern, and Taraji has, I feel like, you won't want it if you can't be exposed to it. So since we're not going to Target, and, as a salon professional, the difference between a more expensive product versus a cheaper one, and it's the quality of the ingredients and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope that when they do this, that they go ahead and, incorporate some of the higher end beauty brands. It's just the hair. We gonna figure out the hair, but we still need all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It says Black women in Buffalo, New York, often left stores with the wrong products or bad advice until 2020, when the sisters Brianna Laney, Danielle Jackson, and Lauren Jackson opened the Hair Hive as the city's first Black-owned beauty supply store. The three knew that gap firsthand. Black women led the nation in beauty spending, but owned just 7% of the stores. A lot of times they'll get the wrong thing, or they'll be led in the wrong direction. So I knew that it was a need, said Brianna. They stocked colors and unique items like glow in the dark and sparkle hair, and customers could not find elsewhere. I see a lot of that fairy hair. It's cute. I thought about it. I feel like you could buy one of those things at the toy department. One of those things that are twisted in your hair. It's just a strand. Relax. They also feature local entrepreneurs. Nice. Put every dollar spent back and turn that to their neighborhood they grew up in. I love that. That choice is already returning resources to Buffalo's east side. The sisters turned years of frustration into ownership that serves their own community. I also feel like, we have to get together on those types of projects too. And I don't mean like these girls are sisters, but I feel like, not everybody has the capital to put together, to contribute to a beauty supply chain. But I feel like if you start as entrepreneurs pooling your money together with somebody that, can do it, but need a little more capital, that's how that's going to work. And then you can put people in place like that, know what they're talking about. My mother used to say, Sally's, can I get it at Sally's? And I buy things at Sally's, just not my products because, and I've never tried Kenya Moore hair care, and that's fine. But mostly Sally's just hires people to run the register. So you don't really have access to a person that can really give you good advice. It's just a girl who works behind the counter. I think those are important things to add, you know what I'm saying, to your business as a brand. You can get a young girl who just graduated from cosmetology school and has at least got enough education to move in and require continued education. I could keep going. This ain't about that. But that's good to know. And I hope that we see a surge of beauty supply stores, owned by Black women, because don't nobody want to take care of our hair, and you work at a salon. I have spent my career in high-end salons because I need to be where, the money is, where the money reside. However, I built my clientele, my Black clientele, because women were tired of going to the salon. And these are money-making women, doctors, executives, you know what I'm saying? But they tired of going to a salon, and a Black salon, because this is our reputation, and spending their whole day there. You know what I'm saying? They knew with me, if they had an appointment at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock is when your appointment is going to start. And you won't be sitting in the salon all day with wet hair. And so my clients, I built my clientele based on respecting their time. You know what I mean? And that's a situation like, as a Black businesses, we're going to have to work our way through, but it's going to take professionals. You have to be exposed to it. Just like the lady, Josephine that got together with the Girl Scouts. So you have to be exposed to it. And you can put products in your beauty supply store. Like I said, like they're using local entrepreneurs, which I think is very dope, because probably they spent time, perfecting their product to make sure it's right. Most like when you're going down the line at the grocery store, wherever you get your hair care products from, there's a lot of chemicals and things that are not catered to making our hair do anything. There's not a lot of options. So hopefully there's more. I'm rambling because this is my lane, but yeah, hopefully we see a lot more of this, a lot more places to feel comfortable. We can't build our community. And like I said, the place where I work, funny thing is, it's no longer owned by a Hispanic people. There's mostly Latinas that work in there, but the people that opened the salon were Puerto Rican and Cuban. It was a couple, and they retired, and now it's owned by not not Latina people, and the name is still on the door, which is very smart, because why take the name? The salon had a reputation before they got there, but the name is a Spanish name. And I can't tell you over the years how many people come in there just because of that. So, they definitely pour back into their community, and that's why they can get businesses and we can't. That's information. I mean, yeah, that's information that has to be learned. Now we have to teach our kids a different way of doing things, because right now it's insanity. It's pure insanity. And sticking them in a situation where they're the only Black child is not the answer, So shout out to all these young people in this next generation. I don't know, not XZ. I would say these are Z's. And since this is like how we have decided that we're gonna like label people, and I feel like it makes sense just because of what you can't move forward with stuff that's just always all antiquated. You know what I'm saying, in terms of how you integrate with different people. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a mindset based on these are the people that are making money. These are the people that you need to appeal to. So yeah, I love the new age of coming together. So change the mindset. We got to change the mindset. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. And we're still working at a disadvantage. The difference is, at least, this generation is a generation of people who have Not if not going to college, grown up with access to information via, the internet. So, and then there's this, I don't play video games. So, if you know people that play video games, if you're in a relationship with one of those people who can't get off the goddamn game, this is some new information, child. Interactive entertainment filled with application filled let me start that again. Interactive Entertainment filed the application with the World Intellectual Property Organization, outlining a highly experimental controller designed to push tactical feedback and immersion into the next level. You know what? I'm gonna go back and watch Black Mirror, because Black Mirror was the it was the future that I was fearing was gonna actually happen. Instead of a fixed click, the controller uses materials like let me try it, viscoelastic elastonomers or fluid-filled membranes. I'm glad they broke it down for, rest of us. Magnets controlled by the game's code alter and stiffness, making it take more or less physical force to press a button. Now your thumb joint's about to be toe up, and you ain't got no insurance to go get checked out. For intense scenarios like your character being grabbed by an enemy or stuck in deep mud, the buttons can physically expand and harden around your fingers, sinking you into the action. I don't like it. I don't like it. It just feels wrong, and I'm sure if I sit and think about it for a minute, I'll be able to explain better why I think it feels wrong. The game is going to cause arthritis. It'll cause arthritis, and not so much for the adults, maybe to some extent. I guess, they don't actually trap your fingers necessarily. That's the way they put it. But if it's messing with your senses, so now your eyes are taken, with this game. Your hearing is taken with this game. And now your sense of touch is being affected by this game. Next, they're going to have, you can taste it. Put a thing in your mouth and you'll be able to taste the food. And, it's pretty much taken over all of your senses. So when you're thinking about a child that's engulfed in this world of, all your senses except for taste being taken over, how do you then engage with that brain that's constantly being controlled by a video game? It's already hard, but I'm saying throw that thing. Don't buy your kids that controller, child. It should be for adults only, people who already have, good access, maybe, because there's some fools out here. Yes, you're going to have arthritis, the button's getting harder to push. And if your avatar dies, then what? The buttons go limp. You have to watch Black Mirror. There's this episode of Black Mirror where this guy, he goes into this one of those helmet things that they put on to play video games, but it's taking over all of his senses. Like he's actually just in this chair attached to this machine, but it feels so real. So he's in this house where things are happening, and if you get punched or hit, you can actually feel it. It was, girl, if you haven't watched Black Mirror, watch all of them, and then you'll see what we about to be dealing with, because it seems as though that's going, coming into fruition. I don't like it. Yeah, it's the idea of having all of your senses taken over by this machine. They'll be able to control you to do whatever the hell they want you to do. By the time you put earphones and on all that stuff that you have on, and then you walk down to the 7-Eleven and find yourself in trouble, because you're still attached to this machine. I don't like it. Y'all can play if you want to. I don't want to play. I got enough going on. Yes, if you haven't watched it, the first episode, and I think there's like 3 seasons. It's not a whole lot. It's definitely something that you'll get hooked on. Only a couple of the episodes I was like, um, and I'm not sure if I've seen all of the last season. I have to go check. But the very first episode is about how people can live their life based on the likes. You know what I'm saying? That you're getting on your social media. So like she went down to get an apartment, and her whether or not she gets approved is based on how many likes she has on her social media, what kind of car you drive. Like your wealth is determined by or your social currency determines how you live in real life. So that was the first episode, and then there's just so many. But there's an episode where this guy has this video game nonsense on, and yeah, you can damn near die, I suppose. You fool around and have a heart attack, getting so worked up. I don't like it, but like I said, I'm not a video game person, so this is another one of those things that I won't have any problems breaking the habit of. Update about these people. And the more I read this story, the more fishy it sounds to me. I'm sorry, something ain't right. Is it just me, or something is just not right? I'm feeling, you know how your spidey senses be tingling? My spidey senses is tingling. So, as many of you have seen or heard, we identified Shay's genetic parents about 2 months ago. Shay, I guess that's what they named the baby, Shay. Okay. Unless that's short for something. We have since met with them on several occasions and have ultimately come to an agreement that allows us to retain full custody of Shay, Love. Her genetic parents are truly wonderful people, and we will maintain a relationship with them going forward. While this chapter has brought more uncertainty and emotion than we could have imagined, this was the best outcome we could have hoped for, and our hearts are full of gratitude and relief as we look forward to moving forward as a family. Many people and media outlets have asked our additional updates and details about what happened. There is much more to this story than has been shared publicly, and one day we hope to tell the full story. It'll be Netflix, child. Is somebody gonna get the story? Hulu, Netflix, somebody. For now, however, we are choosing to embrace this moment as we focus on moving forward with our baby girl, who we love beyond words. We want to sincerely thank those of you who have stood beside us through this journey, and it's truly incredible. We have felt your love and prayers every step of the way, and we are forever grateful. What y'all think? What do y'all think? I think that, first of all, let's start here. Here's a sweetie pie, baby girl. A lot of people think, and I can't decide if that's what I really think, because you know how your mind play tricks on you and you see something just because something don't sound right. A lot of people out here saying that this that this baby looked like this man, the doctor. That's what a lot of people are saying. Also, they're saying I can't judge by her hair. You know what I'm saying? She has very straight texture hair, but she's a baby. So we don't know just yet. I'm wondering, do y'all think, let's go back over here. Do y'all think, first of all, that this couple right here will be going anywhere to this particular doctor? Do you think they would have chosen him for their fertility journey? Like, I don't know what his reputation was. I never heard of him until he came over here with embryos all mixed up and the people had a black baby. First of all, I just don't know if I see them choosing him as a doctor, because you know how they already think about us in terms of, our intellect and things. Now we have a custody agreement with the actual biological parents, and allowing the clear people to maintain full custody of this child. I don't know if I could do that. Like, thing one, like, we realized that this lady went through 9 months and delivered this baby. Got it. But the journey of IVF, we're seeing it on all these different shows. First of all, it's expensive, which would lead us to believe that clearly this child's parents had enough money to go down the IVF route. You know what I'm saying? With frozen eggs and embryos and all of that. We know that's an expensive journey. So they're definitely not broke. The baby is not biologically hers. It's biologically neither one of the parents are biologically, but I guess that's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling us. Like I said, the baby is brown, but she got straight hair. But I mean, that's the type of things. Genetics works very weird. Like, there's no recipe of how the genetics happen. So I'm just thinking, if I'm wealthy enough to afford to go through the IVF process, then why would I not want full custody of my? It feels like it should be the other way around. It feels like the biological parents should. You still got your eggs. Like, did they get mixed up? Like, what happened with them? What happened? The eggs got mixed up, but you still have your own embryos. So let me see. The question is, where are their embryos? That's what I'm thinking. Why are the bio parents so willing to give up custody? Are the bio parents a couple, or are they both donors? Girl, the word on the street, the donor is the doctor. That's what people are saying. People are saying that this little baby here is probably the biological child of this man. And we know, we've seen these stories where these, fertility doctors are impregnating, people with their own semen. Yeah. I just feel like, regardless to the fact that, so then you just virtually, acted as a surrogate for these other people. I can't. I would have to, we're going to, yeah, Dr. Donor. Seems like that's what the situation is, though. I would probably want to fight for custody and maybe work out something where these people, this is the mama that carried you, sweet pea, because, Dr. Daddy over here was mixing up the embryos. I don't know, y'all. I guess. As long as there's somebody taking care of this sweet baby. But I look at all the things that we talk about. In this climate, a black couple just handed their baby over to a white couple to raise. Y'all gave your daughter to Becky and Jeff. I'm confused. Maybe I'm closed-minded when it comes to this particular subject, but I feel like I'm not buying this story. I just don't see, because I feel like if it were me, yeah, you can go and visit Uncle Jeff and Aunt Becky sometimes because, they love you, obviously. But this is my child. So I don't know what you're going to do with the embryos that you have. Will I carry your embryos for you? No. Take a break, Becky, and try it again. That must sound very insensitive, but that's where I'm gonna throw my hat. The baby does look Indian, but I feel like biracial babies sometimes do. You know what I'm saying? Until they start growing into, you know what I mean? When my son was born, and he's a light complected man, my complexion. But when he was a baby, he kind of was this complexion, to be honest. He was like, my cousin was calling him Geronimo because, he was just he had that Native American coloring to him. But, I don't know. You said interesting that they're not suing. Not only are they not suing, High Vibe, this doctor allegedly just opened an office in the same building on a different floor. So he's still practicing. He got to switch embryos up and he's still practicing. I can't wait. I can't wait to find out what kind of bullshit this is. I'm sorry. The more I talk about it, the more I don't believe it anymore. It's not theirs. Give her back. Apparently, the people are okay with it, though, T. That's the thing that's so confusing to me is there's no fight. There's no fight anywhere. These people sat down and had a discussion. They come up with a custody arrangement that gives Becky and Jeff full custody. So the biological parents have come to an agreement. And nobody has decided to sue this doctor as of yet. He's still practicing somewhere in Orlando. Child, switching up eggs and things, talking about, I'm so sorry, I have to take the blame for this. So let's test his genetics. But yeah, I'm just curious. I'm like, Becky and Jeff went to this guy to do their embryos. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this man, but I don't feel like how we go to a black doctor and feel safer. I don't know, like if that's the feeling that they get, you know what I'm saying, when they go and see a black doctor. I don't believe none of it. They stole that baby. Are the bio parents alive? Sorry, just watch Maternal Instinct. Girl, we can talk about that. We can talk about Maternal Instinct. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on the list for Monday. That was wild. If y'all haven't watched Maternal Instinct with this lady out here plotting and planning and planning and plotting and stealing babies. That's why pregnant people have to be so careful about befriending. If you wasn't my friend before I got pregnant, then we're not about to be friends after. I mean, until after I have this baby. Now, when you go in the hospital, they tell you don't even put the blue or pink balloons up at your house because you don't want nobody, crazy person, to be plotting to come steal your baby. So, anyway, yeah, there's more to this story. The more I hear about it, the more I'm like, bullshit. So, we'll see, child. We will see. Are y'all still going over to Dr. whatever his name to let him fool with your eggs and things? So we were talking earlier about the Girl Scouts. And this is why we need somebody to organize and get these young girls and young men wrapped together. Now imagine you living in a nice, quiet, nice neighborhood in Detroit, and the people that live around you have decided they're going to Airbnb out their house for, I don't know, a rapper. I don't know what this is, but this is a disaster. And so, yeah, I don't know that Airbnbs should necessarily be inside neighborhoods. I feel like there should be designated, like, I don't know, because I've not experienced this before, but I've had an experience with living in a neighborhood that was renting out their homes for Airbnb. Let's see. The electronic devices ain't worth a damn. Even when you're trying to do the right thing, they don't halfway want to cooperate. So this is me trying to look at this daggone computer screen. Neighbors, a pool party in Birmingham, Michigan is prompting officials to consider a possible ban on short-term rentals. This will change my mind, doggone it. According to reports, police were called multiple times Saturday to a home after a backyard pool was rented out to the owner's friend. Not the owner knew the people. Officers first responded around 4 p.m. and found about 50 to 60 people at the home, with police saying no laws were being violated at the time. However, the crowd grew with the neighbors reporting traffic, hit and runs, women twerking on cars, and people engaging in public sex acts. Police returned a few more times before ultimately shutting the party down around 8 p.m. Police then came out there a few times. Citations were issued for noise violations and parking tickets were handed out. But the incident is fueling debate, with officials weighing a possible ban on short-term rentals. Are residents and officials justified? I'm going to say the residents was saying justified. Look at this.
Total chaos. That's how neighbors in Birmingham are describing this pool party over the weekend. People who live on and near Westchester Way say someone rented out their pool, but then it got out of control. The noise, and they say cars were parked in driveways, women twerking on top of cars, people driving on lawns, property damage, people openly intoxicated. And one neighbor says they even witnessed two women engaging in a sexual act. Several neighbors are upset with the police response, but we're told the homeowner and the host were ticketed and at least one arrest was made. There's going to be a sitting meeting tonight. These short-term rentals are on the agenda, and you know this incident is going to be spoken about. I know. It's insane. Total chaos. That's how neighbors in Birmingham are describing.
Why are y'all driving through a neighborhood with all of that? This is like Freaknik down the street from your house. Not in Birmingham. Yeah, they was pissed. You said a whole hedonism fest. Yes. Can you imagine? Because the first thing I would say, you know what I'm saying? Because I know the white people said it, but I would be right over there with them. Where did all these niggas come from? What is they doing over here? Why is that girl twerking on the top of the car? But you know, the people over there that rented their pool out for the weekend, they're probably those kind of neighbors that you don't want to be dealing with anyway. That's freaking ridiculous. Why do we have to do this? Why, again, with everything that's going on in this United States, these are decisions that young people are making. And aren't they lucky that the cops came over there a few times and nothing bad happened? Because some people were buying diapers down to the Walmart in Memphis, and now their 1-year-old baby is, no longer with us. And I didn't want to talk about that story, but this is the type of nonsense that the world is dealing with. Whew, child, not my HOA, girl. My HOA will have none of this. And I used to live, like I said, in a neighborhood. It was a nice neighborhood. All the houses had a pool, but sometimes the owners would rent their homes out for Airbnb rentals. My mechanic, actually, who used to be my neighbor, bought the house next door to him, and he rents it out as an Airbnb. I feel like that was definitely it's always been a thing. They called it vacation rentals, in this neighborhood, because it wasn't, the people were coming to stay for a week or so. Yeah, they said these niggas from Detroit. Oh boy, I'm dying. Yeah, I remember waking up to, and they used to, the people that had a house behind me, their house was a vacation rental, and they would have the same people come every year. The snowbirds come down and rent the homes. That's what it was like over there. It wasn't so much every weekend somebody different, but then it became like Airbnbs became popular, and we woke up, it was like, I know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. These people probably came from New York, somewhere up north, because I feel like it was giving New York accent. 3 o'clock in the morning, they decide they're going to get to the Airbnb and hit the pool. And so first thing we hear is MNF for this and nigga. And it was just like, what the heck? What is happening right now? So yeah, we wasn't getting twerking in the streets. We was definitely getting, somebody might want to call the cops if they don't turn their speaker off at 2 o'clock in the morning in our regular old neighborhood. This is another hairdresser story. I don't like this culture at all. And I'm not talking about the beauty industry as a whole. I'm talking about these people who have never spent time working. Like, I feel like there should be a requirement from state board. Honestly, I feel like state board should have a requirement that you work under somebody in a salon, not as an apprentice, but I think there needs to be a 3-year minimum of you working in a salon before you are eligible to go grab one of these studios, because they aren't learn any type of etiquette in terms of business. I just got a text from my boss. He's going to try to move that appointment. He might want to do that because I won't be there. The homeowners did not do their due diligence, to say the least. And they know the people. These were whoever was renting their property was people that they knew. You know who you gonna let rent your property or not. Marcus and them kids, no, we not doing that. So yeah, what was I? Okay, yeah, I just feel like there should be a minimum 3 year, 2 years. Okay, not 3, 2 years at least of working in a salon environment before you get off into these studios, because these people have created their own culture in terms of how they handle their customer service. A woman confronts her hairstylist after catching her out to eat after she canceled her hair appointment for a family emergency and refused to return her $50 deposit. Right here, if I have to cancel on you, I should immediately be sending you your money. Your money should already be in your account. Sorry, I had to cancel. I have a family emergency. And because you can't make me do your hair. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, I marked myself out for tomorrow. And whoever that lady is that is going to get a consultation, it won't be for me. But now, that being said, the only reason why I did that is because I don't get paid for consultations. I'm not driving all the way to work just to do a consultation. Had it been an actual appointment, then maybe. But if I need to cancel on someone, I don't take deposits. That's another thing. The only time I take a deposit is for a new client who's booking a chemical service. You're not going to book my close my books off for all the entire day. You know what I'm saying? On a Saturday, I only got 2 days to do it. You're not going to close my whole book and then cancel. So there is a deposit for that. Also, if you book online, there's a prompt to, pay a deposit. But for a haircut, it's like $15. It's not anything crazy. $50. And I feel like it's these install people that are, causing this problem. It's you weave install wig girls. They're in a lane all by themselves because this is just not okay. So give the girl her money back. What you did was keep her money and then go out to eat. Did you use my deposit money to treat yourself? Well, this lady went to go find her ass.
My hairstylist called, right? But she canceled my appointment and refused to give me back my deposit. So she in one of these stores. So we about to find her. Like, where is she? Because this is crazy. How you cancel my appointment? Don't want to give me back my deposit has a refund. Talking about I can reschedule. But you outside. I thought you had a family emergency. Oh. There she go.
Oh, there she go.
Hi. So you canceled my hair appointment because of a family emergency, but you outside eating.
This is the emergency.
You outside for happy hour.
This is the emergency.
What's the emergency?
Right here, the family. We having a meeting that you interrupted.
All right, so since you canceled my hair appointment, can I just get my deposit back?
No, on the website it says any emergencies and cancellations on my behalf, you have 30 days to rebook with no deposit required.
No, if I cancel, you inconvenience me. But you're outside drinking, having fun.
Yeah, I'm pay for it. I can't.
Having fun.
I'm just gonna give it back to her, man.
Yeah.
It make no sense.
Yeah, let me give it to her.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's wild.
Like you really that's really crazy.
You interrupted my food. Would you like a shrimp? Because your deposit was really $15. So you're not.
My deposit wasn't no $15. No, it wasn't. It was $50.
So what
It was $50.
No.
It was $50. It was $50.
No.
It was $50. But you have the nerve to cancel and be outside eating and drinking. But I got to get my hair done today. I had something to do today. I could do it today.
After I finish mine, I'll call you.
I needed my hair done today, but you outside eating, chilling. Yeah, look how God works. Look how God works. Family emergency. This don't look like no family emergency.
It is.
Where's the waiter?
What you gonna do?
Where's the waiter?
Mm-hmm.
They not like. Excuse me.
Don't want to get involved. The waiter don't
Hey.
have nothing to do with this.
So can I get some chicken enchiladas and a shot of Don Julio on that tab over there? Over there? On that tab with the girl in the orange. Put it on her tab. Nah, put it on her tab. Put it on her tab.
Crazy.
Put it on her tab.
She crazy.
Put it on her tab. It's alright. It's come out and I see my hairstylist call, right?
I mean, even after the young man, the people with her are embarrassed, seems like. Good morning, Jatoni. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. The people that are with her are embarrassed. This is not a professional situation. And she said on her website, it says, if any cancellations happen, whether it be my fault or your fault, you have 30 days to reschedule. And I would not schedule. I would not schedule. So, when you guys are booking these appointments, you need to be very careful. You know what I'm saying? How you book the appointment. Make sure you look at, what their terms and conditions are for sure. The only way you pay a deposit don't get your deposit money back from me is if you cancel within 24 hours. You have within 24 hours to cancel. If you try to cancel the same day, you're not getting your deposit back. So you have all the way up until the day of your appointment to cancel. That's a phone call and you get your deposit back. What am I holding onto your money for? And then she must don't like this client. And if that's the case, that's fine, but give her money back. Sometimes based on the way this lady acts, I'm going to say it's her. She's the problem. It's her. She's the problem. So, yeah, this is not a good look for the industry. And I don't know. I would try to take her to court, even if it was over them $50. So her people are embarrassed that they're sitting here in this video. The man is like, just give her money. You know why he said that? Because he knows that's the right thing to do. Not because, he cares about this lady's hair. She says she has to get her hair done today. I get it. That $50 was supposed to go towards her hair service. So now she has to find somebody else to do it and not, be $50 short while you sit there and eat whatever that slop shit is on your plate. Shrimp and ew. Some people are willingly stupid. Some people will willingly walk into a situation. I don't know how qualified that hairstylist was, but going to a dentist that's not a dentist, going to trust your teeth to somebody who hasn't studied anything, not even, plain English. I'm not even sure what the lady's saying, but they wanted to save their money, child. So this weekend, we dig into an unregulated and terrifying world of DIY, fashion braces. I had braces. There's nothing fashionable about it. I couldn't wait to get them things off, child. While an actual orthodontist can cost upwards of $5,000. Yep, that's how much it costs. And it better hope it's just regular work. God forbid you got to get teeth pulled and or how long it's going to take to get them things off. Anyway, viral TikTok accounts are luring young people into residential basements with the promise of a cosmetic fix for just $120 to $300. All I could think of is the girl over here bungee jumping, being tossed off the daggum skeleton bridge. Sometimes people be making decisions and they make it hard for you, to have empathy and sympathy for them. At Just Two Ice tracks down an unlicensed 20 years old operator in Memphis known as Brace by Dior, not Dior, child, who admits to taking a brief $800 course before buying equipment online and treating clients, including performing unregulated dental checkups. What kind of course is $800? You know what I'm saying? That's for somebody. Most of those courses, are for people who have a license. We also sit down with reality TV star and board certified dentist, Dr. Heavenly, who reacts to the shocking lack of basic sanitation and medical oversight from severe bone damage and root restoration to the massive financial toll of fixing these painful mistakes. Find out why this quick aesthetic shortcut could cost you entire jawline or your life. I am baffled by this. So let's get into it.
If they do breed, they got Genevieve. You know what that is?
Genevieve?
Yeah, it's like the little stuff.
Like gingivitis?
Yeah.
I really wanted it for the cosmetic look.
Okay.
I don't think I never really needed them. I just liked the look. And then I ended up having space, so I wanted it to close the space.
She says an orthodontist quoted her $5,000 to get braces, something she couldn't afford, and her dental insurance wasn't going to cover either. So she took to TikTok, what many people are doing right now, and what she found is something known as a basement dentist, which isn't new. It's just being marketed heavily on social media. She said she was comfortable enough to allow her daughter and her niece to get the same thing done, but didn't happen without hiccups.
When she clipped the brackets on the end, it'll be poking you, and then you try to call to ask her to fix it. She make 50 excuses not to fix it.
We scoured the internet and it really wasn't hard to find them. For example, this woman, Braces by Gina, is in Atlanta, requiring just a $50 deposit to get started. Or this woman, Armani Diana, she's on tour, making a stop in Chicago just this week. When we called her booking number,
the subscriber you are trying to reach is not available.
No answer. So we text her wanting more information. She said it was the wrong number and then blocked me on Facebook thereafter. How much were you charging people to do these procedures?
At first, the experiment to just put it on, it was just $150 and it was like a monthly payment every month. Like my Atlanta clients, I probably got like 15 clients down there.
I'm just feeling like I'm being punked here.
We shared all of this with Dr. Heavenly Kime. She's a reality star and board certified dentist based in the Atlanta area. You remember we talked to her after our investigation into the fake veneer technician industry just last year.
And this is actually worse than veneers because you're actually moving bone and tooth structure.
She was shocked when we told her about this and the phenomenon known to the American Association of Orthodontists that put out a warning about so-called fashion braces back in 2024.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I have braces, so yeah, there's a whole, like, you got to get molds done so they can identify the problem. They come up with a game plan, but back then, like, the fashion was some color rubber bands if that's what you wanted. I didn't. I had clear braces. I didn't want no colored rubber bands. I just wanted the clear rubber bands. I wasn't trying to bring more attention to the situation. I'm not sure why bringing attention to your braces is something you want to do. She trying to get her wires cut. Girl, you will have the whole inside of your jaw tore, ripped to shreds with them daggone wires poking out. And they got to, cut them closed. And then you have waxed, try to keep your jaws from being scraped up. There's nothing glamorous about having braces. Heavenly is your home girl. You love how she loves your hubby. That's so toxic, Tony. The way she loves her hubby is disturbing, but go off. I love how she's a dentist and she knows that this sounds crazy. She said moving bone. I mean, if this is what you want to do, if you want to let 3 strangers chunk you off of a mountain, you can do that. And if you want to go down to this little girl who can't even say gingivitis, go down there and let her put some braces on your teeth. If it's generally $5,000 or more and you could get it for $120, it's not something you want to be bothered with, plain and simple. So, yeah. I mean, is it illegal? I don't know. I don't know what the crackdown is. I just didn't know that there was people out here that type of foolish. Love is in the air. And even Dr. Dre, is still on the roster for some people to love. It don't matter how many women he smacked down with the backside of his, big old hand. Somebody's still going to be there to find love with him. I don't watch The Valley. I'm not familiar with The Valley, but this young lady is from The Valley. Dr. Dre and Michelle Sinai romance confirmed, as The Valley star says they love being in each other's company. That's how it always is in the beginning, girl. This is something new from her because it says Dr. Dre and the Valley star Michelle Sinai. We don't watch this. You know, this is a Bravo show. I don't watch it. I'm not familiar. It's them people from Vanderpump Rules, though, got their own show. The Valley star Michelle Sinai are still spending time together after sparking romance rumors earlier this year. In a new interview with People, Sinai, 37, confirmed that she is still dating the 61-year-old rapper, producer, and music executive after they were photographed holding hands outside Nobu, Malibu on April 25th. I'm pretty sure when you hold hands at Malibu, that's the confirmation. When you go over to Malibu with someone of the opposite sex or not, and y'all come out the building like holding hands, I feel like that's as much confirmation as they follow each other or they like each other's pictures. You know, I'm just trying to keep up with this generation. Not that Dr. Dre is in this generation, because he's in my generation, clearly based on, you know, his stats. We're spending time together and we love being in each other's company, Sinai said, adding that they met through a mutual friend. Sinai made it clear that she's not ready to share too much about the relationship. For now, we're just keeping everything super private. Holding hands at Malibu? At Nobu? Ciao. I'm living my best life. Oh, I'm just living my life. Okay. The update comes after Sinai finalized her divorce from Jesse Lally in October 2025. He's on the show too. He's just, you know, he's a Chad. He's a blonde-haired, you know, blue-eyed white man. The former couple, who married in 2018, share a 6-year-old daughter, Isabella. You bringing Isabella over there with Dr. Dre? I'm starting to question your choices, Sinai. Well, I mean, Dr. Dre is a clear choice, but Sinai was previously linked to Aaron Nosler. He's another one over there on that show. He's giving a little "how you doing," but that's none of my business. They said linked. Dr. Dre, whose real name is Andre Young, finalized his divorce from Nicole Young in 2021. That's it. It was just 2021, I guess. Feels like it wasn't that long ago. I have to see what you're gonna say. Yeah, she got no apologies about it either. Anytime, anything, anywhere. Most sisters can't hack that. Can't hack what? How Dr. Heavenly be over there calling Dr. Damon daddy. Child. Are these young people so dense in the head that they're willing to sacrifice their health? Yep. They want some $120 braces, but I feel like that one lady was definitely grown. She wasn't just a young girl. She was over there, you know, trying to get I just like how it looked. Who in the world, raise your hand if you had real braces and you thought it was cute. Child, we was just trying to get these teeth together. We was not trying to be out here with no cosmetic braces. That sounds crazy. So yeah, Dr. Dre's in love, and is Dr. Dre. It's old niggas out here in Hollywood. Dr. Dre, Eddie Murphy, what's his name? Jamie Foxx. Who else is on the list of I'm gonna go get me a young white girl? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. It don't matter, because that's not somebody I would want to align myself with. So this young lady should be careful with her strong jawline, because that's how he likes them. These dudes see them other chicks. I need that melanin. I'm not mad at it, Tony. He needed too. That's the thing. Like, I feel like, you know, I don't know what this does for him in his career. It's a look. It's a thing. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want none of my sisters over there with Dr. Dre anyway. So, girl, look out for like I said, the right hook. Why are we still dating Dr. Dre? They want to find out. They want to F around and find out. That's what they want to do. And he's 61. She's 37. At 37, I was getting ready to have my last child. So maybe she want to make a baby with Dr. Dre. Good morning to go to Africa. Maybe she's looking for a check. I don't know. She's working for Bravo, and he's quite different than anything that we've seen her attached to. So, like I said, her ex-husband was very much a Chad. And she traded in the Chad for the doctor. It was a comment over here that cracked me up. First comment. Man, are there any black celebrity couples in Hollywood anymore? Why is it so common amongst black celebrity men? I think it's not different than anything. Like, we can go all the way back. Quincy Jones, Sidney Poitier, all the ones that you would never think, you know what I'm saying, was over here, doing what they do with pink toes. Somebody says she looks similar to his first wife. I can't find it, but it says somebody was, oh, here it is. Ain't nobody checking or getting Beats by Dre. I have never got Beats by Dre. I would not be spending that kind of money on no headphones, but somebody getting the Beats by Dre. I'm sure they still out here doing whatever they do. He's selling beats from somewhere. He's Dr. Dre now. We're not going to take that away from him. Dr. Dre over here with the pink toes. Will Smith's ex-pal says he's homeless and too broke to pay Jada Pinkett Smith's $32,000 legal fees after his emotional distress claims were dismissed. I don't know what happened over there. All I feel like is that's what you get. That's how I feel about that. That's what you get. You cannot sue people with money and then think it's not going to cost you money. So you went over there broke, running your mouth, and here, is the bed, that you've made for yourself. Bilal Salam's legal fight with Jada Pinkett Smith has taken another turn, with Will Smith's former associate now telling the court he is too broke to cover his attorney fees. According to the court documents obtained by TMZ, Salam asked the judge to reconsider an order requiring him to pay Jada more than $32,000 after she successfully got his emotional distress claims dismissed. Salam says he is certified homeless, receives welfare benefits, and does not have the money to satisfy the judgment she originally requested over $49,000. While he acknowledged owing Jada legal fees, Salam is asking the amount to be drastically reduced or placed on a payment plan. We can work out a payment plan. I don't think she needed. I don't think she pressed, but I think she's like, you made this a thing, so you're going to pay for it. The dispute stems from Salam's lawsuit accusing Jada of having people threaten him after he allegedly refused to help Will's team manage fallout from the 2022 Oscar slap involving Chris Rock. That's an untruth. That ain't why she sued him. In earlier filings, Salam claimed that alleged stress damaged his life, saying it contributed to weight gain, the end of the romantic relationship, and him temporarily leaving the country. So this stress made him break up with his love and gain weight. And how you leave the country when you ain't got no money? Jada has denied wrongdoing and pushed back against Salam's allegations through an ongoing court process. This man is starting in the middle. That's what is happening, because this is why Jada was mad. Salam, formerly an associate of Will Smith, alleged in a viral 2023 interview that he walked in on Will Smith having sex with an actor, Dwayne Martin. And that's where, I see him everywhere. He was on every blog saying this. Will and Jada Pinkett Smith vehemently denied the claims as completely fabricated. Money shakedowns, the situation resulting in ongoing legal battles. Salam sued Jada Pinkett Smith for $3 million, claiming intentional infliction of emotional distress and that she threatened him. She probably did. She probably was like, I'm gonna whoop your fat stinking ass. A California judge tossed out the core emotional distress claim, and Pinkett Smith's legal team has petitioned for Salam to pay tens of thousands in legal fees. I mean, you started this mess, then you finish it. detailed the specific legal claims and the threats of alleged Salam, break down how California's anti-SLAPP laws impacted the case. There's an anti-SLAPP law? I've never heard of that. Provide updates on court's final ruling regarding legal fees. And yeah, so that's why she was mad at him. He claimed his claims were just gossip. It gave Will dropped him as a bed buddy and he's mad. I hope Will wasn't sleeping with that. I feel like maybe he had a crush on Will. I hope he wasn't taking that down. This is the thing. I don't know whether Will and Dwayne were bending each other over or not. That's been out in the streets. That's been a rumor for a very long time. At the end of the day, if you did walk in on him, who the hell cares? Like, you're the bad friend. Honestly, if I walk in on somebody, doing the appropriate thing is to close the door. And like I said, people have been saying that for years, and it's a non-thing. It's a non-thing. It's not going to change anything. I don't feel like, hell, all of them got Eddie Murphy, all of them got rumors about, Jamie Foxx, about who they may or may not been bending over. You know what I'm saying? So all of them have had that same rumor. You not only took what you claim you saw, and you told it to multiple blogs. I seen him sitting on multiple different places talking about that. So if you think that Jada wasn't going to come say something to you after you've been so close to the family all that time, yeah, now you distressed, now you broke, child, pay them people. Jada, he ain't got it. That's what he said. He going to go to Tasha K route. So go ahead and, figure out a payment plan for this man, but pay the people. Because you should have kept your mouth shut in the first place. Like, that's not tea. As far as I'm concerned, who in the hell cares? We still gonna go watch. I never was mad at Will for slapping Chris Rock either. I felt a way about him doing it where he did it because it was a black night at the Oscars, and he chose that night, you know what I'm saying, to take the attention off of all the other people that won Oscars that night, to go slap Chris Rock in the mouth. That slap could have waited till later. You know what I'm saying? So if he did that to his legacy, I just felt like it was the audacity. It was like rich, spoiled people stuff. He was kissing a guy in 6 degrees of separation. That's where it all started. As soon as he did that, and then, it was back in the 90s. So that was a controversial thing. Niggas was extra hood. We was over here, with Nino Brown and things. So that was the, that was the element, that was the vibe, going on in Rockabye Baby. We was over there with New Jack City, and then he made the decision to do that movie. I don't feel no way about the movie either. The movie was okay. And I feel like it also changed his career. It took him to a place where he was able to do big box office movies from, being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was his, and it was such a small, I don't even feel like it was that big of a deal. The whole kiss thing, I've seen way worse. Everybody kissing everybody these days. They was just down to Birmingham, Michigan, twerking on top of cars. So this is nothing. Yeah, Bilal, you can't fight wealthy people with in the courtroom. So if you didn't have your wallet, packed and ready to fight, then you should have kept your mouth shut. Because at the end of the day, you were spilling a rumor that we had already heard. And the fact that you claim you walked in on it, it didn't even validate anything. Nobody feels any more validated about that information than they did before. You said Will is a Philly Bull. His legacy is thugging. He ain't thugging. He had parents, he came from a middle-class household. Everybody, that grow up in Philly don't have that type of life. He wasn't no thug. He was adjacent to thugs. Even his wife thought he was corny because she was out here hanging with Tupac. And if you ask me, she made the right choice. Will Smith was the right choice. And there's rumors about Jada, being bisexual. So bad marriage for life, Bilal. Pay the people. You owe them money because you got a big mouth. So, try something else. Buy a lotto ticket. I don't know what to tell you, child. Laverne Cox. For me, Laverne Cox was a character on Orange is the New Black. And then I never really followed her career much after that. Trans actor Laverne Cox says Trump's DEI cuts caused a 90% drop in my income. I've had to dip into my savings and retirement accounts. Trans actor Laverne Cox says a major rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion work under President Donald Trump has caused a dramatic financial hit. In New Guardian interview, Cox said income has dropped 90% across the past 2 years, with hosting contracts ending, corporate speaking engagement drying up, and teaching opportunities become harder to secure. What is she teaching? Teaching what? Cox built income through acting, brand work, red carpet hosting, college appearances, corporate events, and public speaking. According to The Guardian, fewer roles for trans actors already made outside work important before DEI backlash reduced those opportunities even further. People reported that Cox also connected the decline to fear among corporations and schools around DEI programs and gender identity topics. I will say that the program is not, I don't know that everybody just wanted to buckle like they did. I feel like a lot of people did it out of fear that it wasn't worth the fight. They was going to lose money. And I mean, that's a sad way to look at it, because it's not just Laverne, it's Black actors in general. Cox said the current administration has created a punitive climate around anything linked to DEI or gender ideology, causing institutions to pull back from bookings and partnerships. The financial strain has forced Cox to use savings and retirement money, a step Cox described as difficult. Despite gratitude for having those resources available, people also reported that Cox framed the situation as larger than personal finance, pointing to a broader consequence for trans people with fewer financial protections. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I feel like actors in general don't know where their next meal is coming from after a project. You know what I'm saying? Second, Black actors especially don't know. There was already very few Black actors, making that kind of money in Hollywood. Tons of money, tons of opportunities. Now you're talking about a Black trans actress. So she's got a lot of things like working against her from the start. Let's see what y'all saying. Because they chumps. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get all caught up. I'll be trying to be a part of the conversation. I don't know what's going on over here. So I was just being nosy. You said Wendy Williams was a reporter on their shenanigans for years. Didn't Dwayne Martin's wife divorce him because of that? I don't know, because her and Lisa Ray and he was over there with that Turks and Caicos president, or whatever his title is, the king of Turks and Caicos. They were over there doing all kinds of things. But I also think like that rumor is like all over Hollywood for everyone. Hollywood is very gay. They're very gay and they're very conservative. I knew you was going to have a problem with this, Jatoni, but I'm going to continue. I feel like as an actress, you have to know that you're, like I said, only as good as your next project in terms of, your last project in terms of finances. You're only going to get paid, for the project, and then, new things come along. I don't know of anything, like I said, Orange is the New Black. That was a long time ago. And I did enjoy that series. But I feel like it ran its course, because by the time it got to the final season, I think I dipped out. You know what I mean? I was over it. And I've seen her in other things, but I don't know that she's made such an impact as an actress. You know what I'm saying? To move on to other things. She's getting older, and then you have to prepare for those type of things as an actress and as a Black actress, especially. So I don't know if it's DEI. Like I said, all the Black actors and actresses are being affected by that as much as it is. She just, like, you know, her time was her time, and the thrill is gone for whatever Laverne Cox was bringing. It would absolutely take, I'm sorry. It would absolutely take for her to get a pretty amazing role, you know, to get hooked up with, you know, a Ryan Coogler, or I say his name because he got all them awards this year. Usually big hits happen when there's a recipe of the right director, the right producer, and the right actor all in the same space. Maybe she should switch to drag shows. She's trans, so I guess she wouldn't. Drag queens are men, and so she doesn't live her life as a man. She lives her life as a woman. But if she want to pay them bills, she can maybe host some. Like, she's definitely a part of the community. A little Asian dude touched your butt, and now you're traumatized for the rest of your life, Jatani. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a thought, high vibe. I feel like those are the type of things, like, you have to pivot. And I don't feel like there were many opportunities there for her in the first place, just based on, you know, what she's coming to the table with. And yeah, and aside from Orange is the New Black, where she played a trans character, you know what I'm saying, on that show, aside from that, what else is she gonna do? She hasn't got that big part. So yeah, you're gonna have to figure out how to book yourself in a different way. All of us are gonna be affected by DEI. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't affected my job directly, but it's gonna affect, like, my clients, you know what I'm saying, which include white women. A lot of them got fired. So yeah, all of these entertainers are going to have to figure out a new way of doing things, because this one over here, she's had a lot to say too. And I don't know that I necessarily feel sorry for her, because Lizzo came off of some backlash of being inappropriate. You know, there's other things that Lizzo has had to deal with. She, you know, have been allegedly treating her dancers poorly. So, and you know, we see Lizzo somewhere always with her ass cheeks out. I like her as an entertainer, but I think she's a snarky little spoiled girl too, to some extent. That's the way she comes across. Lizzo's album struggles reveal a bigger lesson about corporate branding and sticking to our roots. Lizzo's latest album reportedly sold fewer than 6,000 traditional copies in its first week and failed to debut on the Billboard 200. But this story is bigger than one album. Now, that's what they be calling you an industry plant. I feel like they said that about her. I like Lizzo. I think she's talented, but I think her music is, I'll be checking for Lizzo. Like, her music finds me in the elevator or something somewhere. And the uncomfortable reality is that much of Lizzo's mainstream success came from a predominantly white female liberal consumer base that embraced her as a symbol of body positivity, inclusion, and empowerment. But as the political climate shifted and many companies began retreating from DEI initiatives, the same institution that once elevated her moved on. Meanwhile, artists who built their foundation with Black communities first retain something corporations cannot manufacture: loyalty. Look, perfect example. Anita Baker still going out on tour, selling things out. Her reputation is has nothing to do with corporate America. It's about, you know, her snarky attitude. But I feel like she's still gonna sell them out. This country is extremely anti-trans. She probably needs to prepare for a different career. I I don't know that she needs to get a different career necessarily, but she knows as a trans woman what battles that she's going to have to, you know what I'm saying, have in front of her. Even actors not wanting to do, intimate scenes, like she's going to be limited in what she can do. Maybe she should consider acting outside the country. There's, the United States is not the only place where movies are made. And I feel like not even just actors, it's a lot of people out here that have to pivot. But Laverne is working with a lot of obstacles in front of her. Yeah, but Lizzo is another one. Like, I feel like Lizzo, she rose to fame quite easily because, these girls, she over here fussing about the algorithm. The algorithm was working in her favor when corporate was pushing it out. She's another one. Like, when you're in the entertainment field as a singer, the people don't really hang in there with you like that. You can get it all with that first album, and then the next album be a flop. That's the same story. I mean, I'm not saying she's not affected by the DEI initiatives. I'm just saying that's not the only reason. And so if your fan base is, who was checking for Lizzo over here? Was y'all buying her music, or were you just listening to it on TikTok and stuff? Or, like I said, while you shopping in the Learner's store, or do they still have Learners? I don't go to the mall. While you shopping at Macy's, do you still? That's another thing too, though. People don't go to the mall like they used to. All of these things, I think, are definitely affecting the music industry. We don't go to the mall anymore. Everybody's stuff is getting delivered to them directly, to their house. The only time people go shopping, and then when they do go shopping like that, I know the mall here, and I haven't been. Last time I went to the mall, it was to eat at the Cheesecake Factory. And then you walk around the mall to walk off some of that food that you just ate at the Cheesecake Factory. I know people do that as much as they used to. So you're not getting exposed to people the way you were during that first album. Michael Jackson made his career not with the internet. And he's still like the highest, exalted entertainer of all times. And I'm starting with Michael Jackson. I'm just saying, because he just, a movie was put out about him and it just made $1 billion. So, and Michael Jackson in that era, the old school artists had to get out and they had to travel to cities and they had to get to know the people. And I feel like some of these artists now are doing that. When they talk about being in the Black community, why do you think Lil Boosie, ignorant self, could still go around making money? I know Silk still travels, still tours. They still make money off of tours. All the artists make money off of touring and things. And when I say Silk, they'll come do a small venue. That's how you sell your records. You know what I'm saying? Because you go, you get engaged with the people, and then they go download your thing. Lizzo, get up and leave your house. And stop whining about algorithms. DEI is a terrible thing. I realize that. I'm not trying to downplay the effects of DEI, but now that DEI is, in effect, full effect, we won't be seeing much. We'll be back to Marsha. So y'all gonna have to get out. Chitlin Circuit was a success for real. Y'all better Chitlin Circuit that thing. And the first place on the list needs to be Memphis, because Memphis and Tennessee is out here working hard, trying to, they're populated. I said Memphis and Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is populated with people of color. But is that who she's trying to appeal to? I don't know. Lizzo. That last little bop that you took from DC, only DC people are going to resonate with that. And I feel like they're a hard audience. So if you taking whatever they DC swing or whatever you call it, every city got their thing. Detroit, Chicago, DC. Girl, you better get up out your house. You got your new situation. You snatched and things. You got bundles. You know what I'm saying? Go over here and meet these girls, see these girls, twerk with these girls, because that's what you like to do anyway. Get up, leave the house. The old school way where the algorithm was working in your favor, it ain't. Do you love your project? I don't know. If you love your project, Lizzo, and again, maybe this isn't a horrible idea. Y'all are going to have to finance your own tours and things. And in the long run, it might pay off for you, especially if you're doing smaller venues. You know what I mean? Break it on down a little bit and go on a road trip, girl. Get on a tour bus and take that thing out to the streets and see what happens. Essence Fest is coming up. Where you at, girl? Are you over there? No, you somewhere on the internet twerking in the bathrobe talking about the algorithm don't like you. The industry was different then. Many people don't buy music anymore, and many folks can't afford to go to concerts. It's hard for them to make money. Yeah, but I feel like if you break it on down to go to Africa, sometimes you have to do these festivals. You know what I'm saying? Go to a couple of highly populated Black cities, because we are more loyal to, in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Get down with the people in real life. We don't go out. Young people, they still outside. They're still outside. They're still doing things. You don't always have to have a big old venue. Humble yourself. Prince at his height, not at his height, but towards the end of the career, when he was the legend that he is, he started doing small venues because he didn't want to be bothered with all of that. He walked around with that slave on his face, until his contract was over. And when his contract was over, he did smaller venues and then kept all the money. And so the industry, I feel like every industry changes. You know what I'm saying? Mine has over the years. I've seen it go through many, many, many changes. The music industry changes. There's streaming services. There's all these different things happening right now. Get you a podcast, girl. Get out there and be visible besides just complaining, because if your fan base was white women, then that explains your problem, girl. They're not loyal to you. So there's that. I don't know what to say. I feel like Lizzo and Laverne Cox, I'm not saying they're whining, but the move is on. The move is on. So you can sit down and use your retirement money, or you're going to have to pivot. I think that's all I got for today. I hope y'all enjoy your Juneteenth weekend. I don't know if y'all have any plans. Like I said, there's a couple things going on in my area. So I'm probably just going to ride through, you know what I'm saying? See what's up, see what the people are doing, catch some of these food trucks that's got some good old, barbecue and grilled food, and relax. So we're going to end with this. In honor of Juneteenth. Everybody stay safe out there.
I don't want nobody